KMR. We're getting ready to hit the track and definitely hit it with some brap. We're taking the old MX5, our former Formula Drift car, out to a Hotpit Autofest event out here in Southern California, and really looking forward to that. They're fun events, pro level. They're live streamed on the Saturday portion of the event, and just kind of a unique series because it is a pro invitational series, but we run a spec tire that's harder than the Formula Drift tire. So just a little different take on the suspension setup, your toe, your alignment, and tire pressures to basically create traction in different ways. Because in Formula Drift, we can really utilize that big, sticky tire. And in Hot Pit, we got to work with the suspension a little bit more. And it's also part of the reason why I like running the MX5 in Hot Pit, is it's actually a lighter chassis, shorter wheelbase, which has some goods, had some bads. So for the tire size, power to weight, it actually works out really well. We're not running this setup as hard as we used to in Formula Drift. We had it on the dyno not too long ago, and it did around 800 horsepower at the wheels without nitrous, decent level of boost. We were in the mid-20s, and we were really happy with that. I'd like to take it back and dyno with the nitrous, so maybe we can do that after this round, but basically it's one of those, if it's not broken, don't fix it. It was working really well, sounds fantastic. So we're looking forward to getting out there and driving it again. Power steering cooler up front, intercooler, big spare coat intercooler, twin oil coolers, twin fans, BMW power steering rack, 3-rotor, is basically the same build as the RX-8. We just run a top mount alternator. It's also a 340 amp Chevy bus alternator. This was just before we'd made the connections to DC power, and we didn't know you could buy something that basically would be a Mazda case. So this was us inventing something before we had that luxury. But now if I were to do it again, I'd definitely just run a DC power in a OEM location, so I wouldn't have to make so much of a pulley setup, which is, works great, but it's one of a kind. We do run the OEM throttle body on both cars. That hurts us by about 50 horsepower, I'd say, compared to like a large single butterfly throttle body, which is available. But we get a lot more mid-range and a lot more response. The tunability is better. And you can see we still have our nitrous fogger set up here and the ports for the direct that we were testing before we ran it on the RX-8, which is successful. We really like the RX-8 setup. But this car just, we basically left it alone. Very reliable, very fun to drive, and we may need to make some updates soon on it as the Hot Pit series really just grows in competitiveness. Interior-wise, very similar to the RX-8, HDT sequential, Sickie lay-down e-brake, some gauges, some Hall Tech. In the back, we did this bulkhead and the roof for safety and to help with smoke issues. Basically, the rear tire is so close to the driver compartment. When I'm roasting this guy, the smoke just comes right in the driver's compartment. So we ended up adding holes to add internal pressure and reduce low pressure. Gives me a cool breeze when we're sideways. And then basically by adding a fake roof, or a plexiglass roof, Lexan roof, and some bulkhead here, we were able to keep the low pressure basically back here better. It still does swirl some smoke, but it's a lot better than it used to be. And then obviously we've got the fans that are helping pull the smoke, the air, everything good and bad through the radiator for cooling purposes. And I do believe that having that draw also helps with some of the smoke line at times. So water pumps back here, Mazir, remote mount, electric water pump, fuel cell radium setup, Mishimoto radiator. And then a dash 12 AN lines with a little breather setup. So some aluminum work all bulkheaded off back here. It's a good car. It's a nice, fun car. I feel safe in it, even though it's a really small driver's compartment. You could feel exposed, but it was built really well when we built it, and I really enjoy driving it. So looking forward to getting this brat machine out this weekend. We'll see how it goes. Figured I'd put a little post up and just say, hey, if you're interested, check it out online. It will live stream. Hotpit Autofest, and there's some unique cars out there. V8s, inline 6s, inline 4s, rotaries, whatever you like. It's hot rods, getting sideways, having a good time. I think that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Don't worry, we'll be back to rotary stuff. I mean, this is rotary, but, the rotary tech stuff. We got lots more of that. We got Mazda trick stuff upcoming. We got projects that are already in the works that I'm filming that we'll be talking about. And this is just what we're doing tomorrow. That's a wrap.